Welcome back, everybody, to the Inner Geekdom. As always, I am Rune, and you are watching the weekly What to Watch for the week of November 4th. The weekly What to Watch is where we make sure that you are caught up on everything of note that is coming to streaming services, movie theaters, video games, and anime. So, yeah, if you have not already, make sure that you have liked and subscribed. And if you want more of me outside of me just talking nerdy, make sure to go and check out my new handle on whatever services you want to find me on for Rune Doubloon. But yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right into what is coming out this week. And to kick things off, we're going to start with Netflix because on the 7th, we have Face Off seasons 6 through 8. Now, I do recommend this show for anyone in our community that's a big fan of cosplay, so that way you can go and watch it and get all sorts of ideas for costumes that you'll likely never get to. November 8th, we also have Investigation Alien for anyone that is a big fan of what might be out there among the stars. This one might be a fun one to watch and also coincides with our anime that we will be recommending later in this episode. On November 9th, we have The Lost City for anyone that is looking for a nice little rom-com to go and cuddle up with. This also has a decent bit of action, so that way you're getting something that, if you have a partner that might not be so into the romance, they still might enjoy this movie. But the big show of note for this week when it comes to Netflix is, of course, Season 2, Act 1 of Arcane. Now, I am not a League of Legends player, but I was delightfully surprised at how well put together this series is. Even for those that might not be a fan of the video games, the voice acting is phenomenal, the animation is insane, and the storytelling is heart-wrenching. I definitely suggest that you go and check out Season 1 before you delve into Season 2. But yes, Netflix, our highlight of the week is definitely Arcane Season 2, Act 1. A pretty light load this week on Disney Plus and Hulu. I am actually even going to delve into last week since we didn't have an episode and suggest over on Disney Plus to go and check out Music by John Williams. If you are a movie buff, you are more than likely in love with at least a few tracks from the brilliant composer John Williams, so make sure that you go and check him out. As for a movie, I would suggest starting on the 6th, you'll be able to see A Man Called Otto. It's a good movie. I definitely think that it falls outside of the realm of a lot of our normal suggested type of content on here, but if you are looking for something that is along the realms of finding good common ground among people that you might not normally have considered, I do think that this is a good movie, especially with how divided our country is right now. For those of us that are in the US, this is one of those movies that definitely make you feel like people can come together just a little bit more. So yeah, Disney Plus and Hulu, Music by John Williams, and A Man Called Otto. Pretty light week on that front, but that's just because next week we have a very large movie coming out with Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine. So, this week's a little light. Next week we're going to go in pretty heavy. Delving into the world of video games, we are going to go in and grab one from last week that we didn't get to talk about with Farmaggio, which came out on November 1st, which is a farming simulator with a nice little touch of the art style and general gameplay seeming to be similar to that of Fairy Tail. Well, that would be because the creator of Fairy Tail did the art for this. If you did not know, that creator also did things like Rune Master and Eden Zero. So if you're looking for a nice new farming simulator that has a pretty high focus on monsters, I think that that would be a cute one to get. If you're wanting a little bit of nostalgia, though, go and check out TMNT Splintered Fate that comes out on the 6th, because I don't know about you guys, but I always enjoy getting some friends together and playing a little bit of Ninja Turtles. Now, this next one is getting a mixed bag of reviews, but it would be really difficult for me to not bring it up, and in fact, it's probably going to be one of the more recommended games of this week, and that is Mario and Luigi Brothership. This is a more turn-based RPG, which we've been getting a lot more in the realm of Mario lately. I think that it's really hard to not recommend a Mario game, and even if this isn't one of the best Mario RPGs that is out there, I think that we need to remember that a lot of the times Nintendo is kept at a much higher basically standard than a lot of other companies are, because even Nintendo's bad games are typically pretty decent. So look for Mario and Luigi Brothership if you're looking for a more light-hearted turn-based RPG. And if you're someone like me that is a big fan of VR, or I wouldn't say as much of a big fan as I am somebody that is hopeful for the future of VR, check out Metro Awakening VR. I do not think that this necessarily fits into my style of gaming, but it does fit into the style of gaming of what a lot of people might be drawn into a VR game for. The Metro games are fantastic. It's just, I am not that big on high action games. So if that is something that you are interested in, I do think that it is important that we go and look at these bigger AAA branded titles that are in VR and show some support. So definitely go and check out Metro Awakening VR. And that is what we have this week in the realm of video games. Did you see anything that you think that you'll be picking up this week? Let us know down in the comments. And this week's anime recommendation is none other than Dandadan. I have been enjoying this series quite a bit. It is about a young guy and a young girl in high school where one of them believes in aliens, the other believes in ghosts and the supernatural. They both challenge each other to prove the other one right, and it turns out they were both right. Ghosts and aliens in this series. It's actually quite fun how they go and find ways to blur those lines of which is which, and much of the time are interconnected. It's a funny series, and I mean a very funny series. Laugh out loud. I can't believe some of the stuff they are pulling. This is not one I would suggest necessarily for the younger crowd. I would say probably 16 plus 13 at the youngest. This is definitely more on the mature side of things. But one thing I am liking about it is it's pretty well available. I don't know everywhere that you can find it, but I do know that you can find it on Crunchyroll and Netflix. So if you're an anime fan, more than likely you have one of those streaming services, or you can go and find them the other way, which we're not going to bring up here. But yeah, make sure that you're watching Dandadan, because this series is fun. It does have its over-the-top, crazy shonen action, but I think that that's going to come a bit more later. Right now, we are deep in the laughs, and yeah, this is one that I'm hoping will hold popularity for quite some time, because it does have a lot of chapters to it when it comes to the manga, which I have also started reading because I have zero patience. And if you know I am enjoying an anime so much that I just decided to delve right into the manga, you know I'm enjoying it pretty good. So I highly recommend Dandadan. And yeah, let me know what you're thinking about it. Are you watching it? And what are some other anime that you are watching this season that has you pretty hyped? We got a pretty light load this week in movie theaters with Red 1 coming out. This is the new, I guess, Santa Claus themed Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie that I don't personally have a whole lot of interest in, but if you have younger kids and you're looking for a Christmas movie at the very 1st of November, you could go and check that out, or you could go and check out my recommended movie this week, which would be Paddington in Peru. Well, that is also a child's movie, you might be saying, Rune, but the Paddington movies just hold such a special, wholesome place in my heart. They are way better than they have any right to be, and I think that if you were looking for a family movie, Paddington would definitely be a fantastic one to go and take the little ones to go out to see, or if you're just needing a bit of a respite from the stresses of everyday life, especially with it being an election week, maybe Paddington is just the movie for you. But that is what we have this week when it comes to movies. Sorry, it's not a bigger stack for you, but I'm sure that we have some more movies coming up in the future that we will definitely get a bit more deep divey into. And now let's go and delve into the box office from last week. We are seeing Venom holding a hot spot again at number 1. Unfortunately, from the week before with his 26 million, we did see a drop off of only 7 million, but that is pretty well to be expected when it comes to these types of films, especially when we are coming off of a big holiday that is not really that well known for people going to the movie theaters for, especially when this wasn't really much of a horror movie. At number 2, we have the same as last week as well, with The Wild Robot falling down to 2 million from a 7 million hype of the week prior. The Wild Robot, I do think, actually looks quite cute if you're looking for an animated movie that doesn't fall under the Disney tentpole. Holding number 3 again, we have Smile 2 from a 6.8 million down to a 1.8 million. Like I said, this is pretty common when you're looking at week 2s, week 3s. You're going to see those big fall offs, and we did not have a really big movie to go and kind of shake things up. In fact, our number 4 and number 5 are exactly the same, again with Conclave, and here Conclave going from 5.3 to 1.6 million in its second week. I think this was second week. And then here goes from 5 million down to 1.2. So that is what we are looking at. Do you think that either of the movies that are coming out this week that I brought up, Red One or Paddington in Peru, will shake up this top 5? I'm not sure, but I would like to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. So thanks everyone for coming and watching our first episode of the weekly What to Watch. I do know that things are changing over here on the Inner Geekdom, but I promise you that we're going to work out all the kinks and things are only going to be that way for the better in the future. Yeah, if you have gotten this far and you haven't already liked the video, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Make sure you're liking and subscribing. I need to make sure that I feel validated. But I do love all you guys that decided to stop by. I hope that you're enjoying the content. Make sure that you also tune in on Friday because I will be having news videos come out on Friday as well. As I said before, if you are wanting to find me outside of just the nerdosphere of things, make sure that you go and check me out on other platforms under Rune Doubloon. That is right, doubloon like the little pirate coin. That's where you'll find me at, Rune Doubloon. And yeah, thanks for watching. As always, if you have not already subscribed, make sure you do because then we're guildies. And I really appreciate y'all coming by to watch me. Have yourself a wonderful day. Peace.